We are coming at you live from Tipp City, Ohio. Mr. McCray's Classroom. Fantasy football show coming at you. Mr. McCray's joining us. Here we go. Mr. McCray is going to give us our picks as to who he thinks is going to win this week.
Okay, well,
all right.
Specific questions
Here,
here.
that for me, would you? All right. Okay. Now, before we analyze your first matchup here, do you have a favorite insect?
I would have to say my favorite insect would be the praying mantis because of the whole, like, just devouring your mate after mating.
Exactly. The violence is,
in
fact,
shocking amount of violence for the insect
in this
world.
matchup, we feature Jeremy Koenig, and he's had some experiences with insects himself. He, in fact, was bit in the eye by a spider.
No kidding.
All right.
True story.
Who do you have in the matchup, Jeremy or Doug?
Oh, I'm thinking in this matchup, I really like Doug's matchup. Drew Brees going against St. Louis. St. Louis is just going to get decimated. I could see New Orleans dropping another 62 on somebody.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more there. Jeremy is kind of bad. You got to pick Doug in that situation.
Yeah.
All right, next up, we have Grant Cook versus Andrew Gatchell. Now, before we pick it, Andrew, he's quite the artist with the buffaloes. Have you ever considered owning a pet buffalo?
Not so much as a pet, but as a food source.
As a food source? Exactly, like the bison burgers and
Bison
stuff like
burgers, yep. Bison ribs.
All right,
Bison hump. Very tasty.
Who do you have in the matchup?
Well, I really am not a big fan of either of these two teams, but I would have to say, actually, you know, I kind of like Andy Dalton. I got him as a 1-star. I've got the Eagles D with 1-star for Grant because, you know, they're going up against Tony Romo, and he's gonna make a mistake at some point. But I think overall, I like to have more confidence in Andrew's team. Plus, the Dumpster Crack Babies gets my vote for best team name in your guys' league. Dumpster Crack Babies pretty strong.
All right, I'm gonna have to pick Grant Cook there, but you know, it's whatever. You've had a chance to take a look at the teams. Now,
Yes.
You're a fantasy superstar yourself.
Guru,
Does
yeah.
any team compare to yours? Or
I would actually say yours compares closest to mine of anybody. And I say you're a pretty strong 5-2. I've got Drew Brees. I love Drew Brees. Dwayne Bowe is a man. Brandon Lloyd I also have. I also have Vernon Davis. And I also have the 49ers D, although I tend to play the Bears D because Devin Hester is
it is a pretty good team, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Definitely. I mean, okay. Next matchup, we have Nathan Keterman versus Daniel Wiltshire. Now, the audience was curious. True or false? You were born with a full beard and goatee.
Full beard, full goatee, full set of teeth.
Full set
Just
of
like
teeth.
a beaver. Yes.
Exactly,
Yep.
right there.
Yep.
And
Mouthful of teeth on it as an infant.
who do you have, Nathan or Daniel?
Daniel, I think, wins this one going away. I have no confidence at all in Tavares Jackson. I really don't like Tavares Jackson at all. I think Matt Schaub is going to have a big day. He had a good game last week. And Jason Witten, I think, is in for a huge day against the Eagles' porous D. Sid-like.
I don't know. I'm saying Nathan wins because we got some lineup issues for Wiltshire. He's starting people on bye, so I don't know there.
Yeah, but I still think overall he's got enough strength there still left.
All right, this next matchup is rather interesting. It's Travis Rook versus Jack Pelishek. Now we're going to take a closer look at Jack Pelishek's lineup. I'm going to list off 4 players, and you will tell me if you've ever heard of them. He is starting the following: Jackie Battle, Bernard Scott, DeMarvius Thomas, and Anthony Armstrong.
One of those guys definitely was a vice president for Truman. The other 3, I think, actually play football.
A vice president of the National Football. He's obviously a bad team. Who do you have?
I like Tom Brady's chances against the Steelers this week. He typically puts up huge numbers against the Steelers. They're not going to be able to run the ball. They're going to have to throw a lot. But I think overall I do like Travis's team. He's got a little bit more depth. Brady could overcome a lack of depth from Jack's selection of former VPs at running back.
Jack's team is definitely pretty bad. I'm saying it's going to end up in a draw, 42-42. It's just
That could be.
I don't know if either of them are good enough there.
Yeah.
All right, next matchup. We have two cross-country kids, Zach Allen versus Ricky Andrews. Do you think you could beat either of them in a foot race?
It depends on the length of the foot race. If it was,
Are you more of a short term?
I'm a very short term. If it was like say 1 meter or less, I think I could handle either one.
Who do you end up picking in the match?
I think I like Zach's team slightly better than Ricky's. Ricky's got a few guys that again I think could have big weeks, but overall Zach's got more guys that I think are in for a big week than Ricky does.
I agree with you there completely. Ricky Andrews a very bad team. He's 1-6, but he
dismal.
is fast.
Yeah.
Maybe if it was 2 meters, he'd have a shot to beat you.
Right. That's
Maybe.
Ricky. Yeah.
There you go. All right, next
Ricky,
matchup.
Ricky.
We have Alex Trzynski versus Zach Burning. Now, we know Alex takes a little longer on tests and labs, along with myself. Does that have any effect on the matchup?
I don't think it has any effect on the matchup so much as the fact that he just doesn't have a very talented squad.
So you're going with Zach Burning?
I would say Zach, going away in this one. I would think that this would be my lead pipe cinch of the week.
Yeah, I agree. Burning's he's got it on that one. All right, next we have Sam Bollinger versus Zach Robbins. Now, Zach, he finished the last lab we did in 17 minutes, and you had other groups staying 10, 20 minutes after class. How does he get his tests and labs done so fast?
I think it's a combination of just having just one of the least imaginative names in the league, Robin Hood, come on, and just basically having a real good lab partner that kind of picks up the slack for him.
He's never here!
So who are you going with?
I think I would have to go with Sam in this matchup. I'm not a big Eli Manning fan. I do like Ryan Fitzpatrick, but Reggie Bush is supposed to be hurt. Cadillac Williams at running back. I don't like his chances. They're not going to be running the ball against New Orleans this week.
I'm picking Sam Bollinger in that matchup as well, but Zach, you're very smart.
Yeah, very smart, good at labs. Yeah, I'll give it to him for that.
And next up, we have game day. Jonathan Lynn versus Luke Vinsky, who's currently residing in Colorado. We've got some festive headgear. Who are you picking in the matchup?
Well, looking at the lineups here, John's got, a quarterback I don't have a whole lot of confidence in, but Luke also not a whole lot of confidence in Matthew Stafford this week, coming off an injury. So, I do like some of John's running backs. I like one at least. I don't like Dexter McCluster at running back, but I also don't like Maurice Morris, and I don't like Adrian Peterson this week. He's hurt. He hasn't practiced. Wide receivers, Mike Wallace, I kind of like that. Michael Jenkins could have a big day also, but I think I'm going to have to go with Johnny Lynn.
He's going with Jonathan Lynn, and that's almost going to do it for us today, but we have a little chemistry on the show for you. Mr. McCray, he's going to lift a desk up using chemistry. Let's see how he gets it done. He's kind of ripped. Oh, look at the strength!
That just happened.
The absolute strength. Do you have anything you'd like to say to the audience before we hit the road here?
It's been a pleasure being on the show, Doug. I hope we can maybe do it again. Maybe I could just throw somebody else's calculator on the floor. Been an absolute blast, baby.
Thanks for having us, John Lynn, this week. Thank you.